Hey everybody, this is Troy over at Uncomfortable Truths. Thanks for checking me out. Now today we have an uncomfortable truth that we need to talk about, and that is Donald Trump's betrayal of the American people continues as he decides to sell America down the river in favor of Benjamin Netanyahu and Israel. Now I'm not really sure why he's doing it, but it may have something to do with the fact that Donald Trump is also involved in covering up the crimes of the disgraced financier Jeffrey Epstein, who also just happened to be an Israeli intelligence operative. Take a look.
Jeffrey Epstein, it left some lingering mysteries. One of the biggest ones is whether he ever worked for an American or foreign intelligence agency. The former Labor Secretary, who was Miami U.S. Attorney Alex Acosta, he allegedly said that he did work for an intelligence agency. So could you resolve whether or not he did? And also, could you say why there was a minute missing from the jailhouse tape on the night of the step?
Yeah, sure.
Hey, Pam, could I just interrupt for
Sure.
1 second? Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein? This guy's been talked about for years. You're asking, we have Texas, we have this, we have all of the things. And are people still talking about this guy, this creep? That is unbelievable. Do you want to waste the time and do you feel like answering?
I don't mind answering.
I mean, I can't believe you're asking a question on Epstein at a time like this where we're having some of the greatest success and also tragedy with what happened in Texas. It just seems like a desecration, but you go ahead.
Look, even if you are one of the most hardcore Trump supporters, which I was while he was running for president, go take a look at the old videos if you don't believe me. You still don't believe this. That is obviously a guy that is covering up for Jeffrey Epstein. And why is he doing this? Well, it's because Donald Trump is completely a puppet to the Israeli lobby and to Benjamin Netanyahu. That is what's going on right now. And what is even worse about this is Donald Trump is getting us enmeshed in another Middle East war, which is exactly the reason why I was supporting him for president, was to avoid all of this. But it doesn't matter, because regardless of who you vote for in the United States, AIPAC wins and the Israeli lobby wins, because apparently we are now a client state of Israel. Take a look at this. Because Axios is now reporting that Israeli officials think Trump could give them the green light to attack Iran again. Well, of course he could, and he probably will, because Donald Trump has shown that when it comes to Israel, he has no spine whatsoever. Donald Trump serves Bibi Netanyahu before he is serving the American people. And it hurts to say that, but those of us that wanted to make America great again need to come to terms with the fact that Donald Trump is putting Israel's needs above Americans. There's no other way to look at it at this point, because Israel is not a good ally. We give them money. They don't give us money. We fight their battles. They don't fight ours. Israel goes around and causes trouble with all of its neighbors. And then once the neighbors decide that they're going to retaliate, then they run to us like we're their mom and dad. And we get the privilege of paying for the wars that they are starting. And Donald Trump is continuing this trend. So Israel is preparing for the possibility of further military action if Iran tries to revive its nuclear program. Well, let's keep it real. If you're Iran, wouldn't you want to revive your nuclear program? And this time it wouldn't just be to have energy for your population. The reason why you want a nuclear program this time is because you need to make sure that you have a nuclear weapon. And this is on us. This is on the United States 100%. This was why I was telling people not to vote for Democrats. It's because people like Hillary Clinton decided they were going to do the Libya model. Now, for those of you that don't know what that is, we decided that we were going to go to Gaddafi. We were going to say, hey, give us your nuclear weapons, and we're going to make sure that everything's fine. But if you don't give us the nuclear weapons, then there's going to be a problem. So Gaddafi gives away his nuclear weapons. And so what do we do now that he doesn't have nuclear weapons? Well, we decided that we were going to go in there and we were going to take a bayonet and put it up his until he was dead. And now that country has open slave markets. So that's what happens when you actually give up your nuclear weapons. You no longer have a way to protect yourself. There's a reason why Gaddafi is gone and Kim Jong-un, he's still around, isn't he? The reason for that is because there's going to be a price to pay because there's a nuclear weapon to be used as a deterrent against the United States and against Israel. So deciding that we're going to go ahead and bomb you, whether you have nuclear weapons or if you don't, well, it doesn't give them much of an incentive not to have this protection, does it? And again, that's on Trump. We didn't have to do this. That was an unforced error. And it does make me wonder, why is Trump serving Israel so much? It's a little weird, don't you think, that all of a sudden we went from America first to jumping into Israel's war? Could this be because Donald Trump's best friend, Jeffrey Epstein, had some dirt? And because we know that Jeffrey Epstein worked for Israeli intelligence, maybe there's something there that is actually pushing Donald Trump to work on Israel's behalf instead of the United States. But we're not allowed to ask those questions, so I guess we'll just keep going. Because behind the scenes, Netanyahu's top advisor, Ron Dermer, told officials in a closed briefing that he came away from a recent visit to Washington with the impression that the Trump administration would back new Israeli strikes on Iran under certain circumstances. I'll tell you what those circumstances are. Israel tells us to, because we are Israel's client state at this point, thanks to Donald Trump, which is again breaking a number one campaign promise, but these broken promises are starting to line up all over the place. It's just like the Epstein files that are going to be released. Well, I guess we're not doing that anymore either, are we? And what makes this even worse is that a lot of the people that supported Donald Trump because they wanted to stay out of the wars, or they wanted to make sure that the immigrants were going to be removed from the country if they came here illegally, or if they wanted to make sure that we weren't going to arm Ukraine, they wanted to keep us out of all these foreign entanglements, they are going to keep lying to you. And I'm sorry to say it, but there is a split right now of people that are being honest about what Trump's doing and the people that are just running cover for him because they're going to go ahead and just keep kissing Trump's butt. Well, here we're about having uncomfortable truths. And the truth is that if you're keeping track of the lies that Trump has lately, what we have is that he's lied about Jeffrey Epstein. He's lied about pulling us out of wars in the Middle East and getting us entangled in new ones. He's lied about continuing to arm Ukraine. Donald Trump is breaking his promises to the American people and to those of us that voted for him. And that's the uncomfortable truth right now. And I hope it gets turned around. But honestly, I'm not seeing a lot of hopeful signs at the moment. So for those of you that can handle the uncomfortable truth, go ahead and hit like and subscribe, and I'll talk to you later. Take care, everybody.